Oh, hello. We're back again, and it's time to have another little chat, and then big day today, because today's the day we finish polishing that little document case which we've been working on. But first, as ever, cup of tea. Cheers. Perfect again. I'm going to show you how we do this. This particular type of teapot is the epitome of the advancement that we managed over 300 years of tea drinking. For a start, it's got a little cork plug that you put in the spout, because heat is the important thing in brewing a decent cup of tea. People don't realise the role of the tea cosy, and by now we've developed this metal tea cosy with a sort of felt liner to it, which keeps in the heat while the tea is brewing. I suppose when you drink tea, you probably drink tea bag juice and you think you're drinking tea, but you're not. This is loose leaf tea, and people don't drink it so much because they don't like tea leaves in their tea. But this has got a triple lock to stop that happening. For a start, if you can see in here, there is an infuser ball. Let me just see if I can pull it out without burning myself. That's full of tea, that screws together. Inside the pot itself, there's another strainer, and that goes in there, that sits in there. And then you've seen when I poured it that I used the third strainer, this thing here. So there's no way I'm getting tea leaves in my cup of tea. What we're going to talk about today. You're going to meet people in your life, you probably already have, who really upset you, who offend you in such ways as you are enormously angry with them. It's happened to me more than once. And over the past 60 plus years, I've discovered the only way to deal with these people is to ignore them completely. If necessary, shut them out of your life. For me, if someone oversteps a certain line, and it's a long way off and you've got to really try hard to upset me, but if you do, that's the end of it. You never see or hear from me again. As far as I'm concerned, you cease to exist. And by not reacting in any way to these people that have tried to harm you, you're winning. You don't need to get revenge or get them back. There's a thing called karma, a natural balance. It doesn't mean revenge, it means natural balance that occurs throughout humanity, throughout the world. And that natural balance is restored. I've seen it dozens of times. Not necessarily just people who have wronged me, people who have done bad to others. If you watch what happens, they get theirs. Something happens to them. Something tragic, maybe just something inconvenient, but something always happens to them. And so you can leave it. You can relax. You don't have to bear the weight of any grudges or any bad feeling. Just make them cease to exist in your own mind. Don't let them have the sound of your voice again. And you've won. You've won forever. It's the best way I've found to deal with that kind of thing. Anyway, polishing the briefcase. Today we're going to use a different finish from one that we've used already. We're going to treat it on the inside as well. So if you'd like to come with me, now's the time. Right, let's get started then. So, here we are. I did say yesterday that the sheen wouldn't last all that long just from the conditioner, and it hasn't done, but it's still nice and smooth. It feels so good, much better than before. And the next thing that I'm going to do is to put mink oil on this. Now I have a choice of neat's foot oil or mink oil or olive oil or coconut oil. Mink oil tends to reflect a little bit red, not oxblood red or anything like that, but on a dark brown case like this, there's no reason not to use it. Neat's foot oil, on the other hand, tends to reflect a tiny little bit yellow, which is okay. You wouldn't notice on here. You wouldn't want to use it on something like a white leather or something where you wanted neutral. But in this case, I'm using neat's foot oil on the inside. It needs something both sides. I don't think it's ever had anything. No, I won't use that sort of cloth because they tend to lose bits of cotton all over it, and I don't want that. So here we go. Let's see what this neat's foot oil does to it. That enriches the leather from both sides, you see now. Let me see what's happened there. And I will go all through the inside of this briefcase with this neat's foot oil. Boiled down cow shin bones and feet, but not the hooves. I don't know whether that would turn it into some kind of glue. I suppose it would. I expect that will lighten up a little bit, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't. It's the effect upon the leather that I'm looking for, rather than the look of it, as you rarely see this. I think it's liking it. A useful bit of being ambidextrous. Yeah, there's a centre section to this, and it's leather, so I'll do that as well. Sometimes it's cardboard, but not on this one. It's a good piece of kit. And this has never had any treatment of any kind, you can tell. soon as you put it on there, it immediately soaks it up. Yeah, I think I'll definitely give this a second coat when you're not here. But there's one or two scratches of leather that started to lift off here. And you can see if you pull it what a mess you can make, so I won't. And now all the time that is soaking in, and I've used nearly all of it, we can now make a start on the surface that you see. And for that, what we've got here is mink oil. It comes in a tin without any sort of labelling or writing, so I've written on it. Now then, this one will do. Made from boiling or otherwise treating the fleeces of mink, the skins, pelts, whatever you might call them. Let's see how we get on, because this will certainly buff up to a shine once I've finished. It's called an oil, but it's more of a wax, very much like the coconut oil. And again, I can use as many coats of it as I want. There's no need to overdo it. I think little and often is the key with things like this, rather than nothing for 100 years and then going all at it like a bull at a gate. But I'm afraid that's the choice I've been left with this time. I think these black marks here are going to have to be a feature rather than a fault. I don't feel like having it engraved. It's if you do that to a piece, whether it's a piece of silver or leather or gold or whatever, it's yours forever, but you're not here forever. So the people that you hand it on to either have to change that or change their own name, and it seems a silly thing to do. I can tie a label on it if I want anyone to know it's mine, and if somebody nicks it, then they'll chop the label off. But yeah, I've got some nice coverage anyway. It certainly feels nice to put on, and it's best to work on a towel rather than an oilcloth for this. just to give it a chance. You'll have noticed these odd bits of cotton on here, and I will be trimming those off any second. But first, more of the same. Can you hear it squeaking? It's saying thank you. I don't think anybody has loved it this much since it was new. I wonder what field it wandered around in. Somewhere on the North Yorkshire moors, perhaps. Cows have best friends. I wonder if it had a best friend. We're funny things, us humans, aren't we? There's untold amounts of mink in here that have been killed and skinned and boiled down to make this, and the cow that made the briefcase, all for our purposes. It's the world we live in, and the world that has been our world for thousands of years. I know that doesn't make it right, and the older I get, the closer I get to being vegetarian, but I won't. I'm afraid I'm too long in the tooth and too set in my ways for that. But if it helps, I do feel a certain amount of guilt about it. I've got away with this degradation of the strap, I think, for the time being. This case isn't going to get too much wear from me anyway, and I don't think that we'll need to renew those straps. Somebody else might, who uses it more. Just the last bit. if you do both sides and then the bottom, you don't end up having to do them all at once because you forgot where you did it. I discover. Okay, well I said I would do this, so goodbye to those. I've been irritating everyone for so long. Now we'll let that layer harden and just have one final go at the brass. For a bit of a polish. I think this might have hardened enough. I've got a little bit of a shell on here, so I'll give it a go. Oh, look at that. Do you remember what this was like when we first did it? Well, you know, this must be one of the nicest ones I've done. It's not perfect, they never are. It it shows its age, but I want it to. I'm pretty sure I said that about the tan one, and it's the way I feel about it. Let's just give that brass a wipe. These cloths are a bit useless, but that one isn't. And I've done the trick of putting the Vaseline into the lock. But you know what? It never hurts to put a bit more in there. So we will. I know I haven't got a key for it yet. We might as well keep it loose and moving, because there'll come a time when either I or somebody else will find the key. I use it for this. I don't know if you can see that. Internal uses. I don't think I would. There'll be those who do. Colds, throat irritations, and as an internal lubricant for constipation. No thanks. Gives it a decent finish and protects it. Right, I know you all think that I've forgotten to do this, but I haven't. And there, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else, you have it. Neats foot oil on the inside, all the various treatments that you've seen on the outside. And there we go. Once this mint coil has hardened off properly, you won't be seeing the finger marks that I'm now putting on it, but there is the document case. And I hope you've enjoyed watching me do it. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing it. The next thing I'm going to do is another briefcase, but slightly more challenging, as you will see. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Until then, thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.